All right, man. This is another episode of Texas Buzz. We got Ice Villa in the building. How you feeling?
Feel good. I'm excited.
Hell yeah. We're here at Kush Gardens. Tell us why we're here, how we got here, and what's up with it.
This is where I work. This
Hell
is where
yeah.
I work. I am a bud tender here at Kush Gardens at 4403 West Commerce. Y'all can come see me and shop. But yeah, I was supposed to work today and I
Yeah.
didn't end up working. Yeah, they were just like, "You're good. Take the day off." I said, "Shit, man, you ain't
Say
tell me
less.
twice, okay?" So
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
it's just convenient, I guess.
And this is the type of things you be doing on your day off and shit, like just being in the studio, interviews, and just being active like that, or
Yeah, I
what
just
do you?
be chilling, really, honestly. If I'm not doing anything, I don't have anything booked or planned, or I'm not with the girls like Liza and them.
Yeah.
I'll just be in my studio, really looking
Okay.
around, and it's like it's our house, so like we're in that bitch regardless. But yeah, I'll just be chilling, bullshitting.
Hell yeah. So we just a couple days ago you came up on the page on some bullshit kind of shit.
Mhm.
On my end, I saw your story and I was like, nah, I'm gonna stir this up a bit. And yeah, so I don't know the podcast name, but there's a guy in Dallas, and he basically what tell us a story. You did an interview with him or
Yeah, so basically, I was already going down to Dallas because one of the female DJs that I'm cool with, she set up a radio interview with me for K-Non 89.3 FM. So
gotcha?
I was like, cool. They wanted to play my song, so I'm like, hell yeah, I want my song on the radio, you know. So I went down there, and she's like, while we're down there, we could see like what else we could line up for you, like see if there's any like people who want to work photography, videos, do a song, maybe some
Yeah.
interviews. I'm like, yeah, I'm down. And it was around the time when Salida Siete was blowing up, so a lot of people were hitting me up, you know, and sorry, I have fucking backwood in my mouth. But since she was my girl, and she was like, "Oh, well, my people are doing this, my people are doing that." She's like, "There's a podcast, and they would love to have you." And I'm like, "Cool, you know, like yeah, I'll do it." And obviously, I was a new artist at the time, wasn't really like I was doing shows and stuff, but as far as like interviews and podcasts, I was barely like getting into it because I was barely blowing up, and so I was taking any opportunity that I could get. Well, since she pointed me in the direction of them, I was like, yeah, I'll show love. Like, if you put me on, like, you know, I got you. And so she's like, cool, we could do that. So we lined it up. I had the radio interview. And then I also had a show. Me and Eliza and Gold had a show with Carly. So we were like, oh, it's a day apart. We could go and boom, 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 knock it out, you know?
Yeah.
So then I did the radio interview. Then I went to that guy to do the podcast, and it was cool. You know, it was chill. Like he didn't give me no like weird vibes in there. He was very
I got
respectful.
you.
Like you know, so I was like, cool. Like it was my first little podcast. You know, and Eliza did like a little bit of it with me, and it was cool and all of that. And then like right after we left, like he started. You know, here comes like the sliding up and
Mm,
everything, and I was just like, it's whatever. Like I'm used to it, you know. But then it got to like every single post, like,
yeah.
and anybody who saw like the post, they
Yeah,
would
yeah.
see it, and that's not even like all of it
So
from
the, all the
before.
all the all the hard eye reactions, that was like after he did the interview. And it was never before.
No, I don't know if it was before. There were some messages before, but I don't
Mm,
think it was as like persist,
yeah,
like you know, like and it was more of like I can't wait to see you, like can't wait to like work
yeah.
with you, you know, type shit. And I'm like, cool, we're locking in, you know. And I thought of it as like, oh, he's showing love, you know. And then
Yeah,
afterwards, I'm like, oh, he's showing love, like he's showing
yeah.
fucking love, you know. So I always kind of just like ignore it. I don't even really like. I feel like some people are like, oh, she's a bitch, she's leaving me on red, but I'm like, you're not talking
Mm,
about nothing that I want to talk about, you know. Like, thank you, but and some people will even take a thank you as an invitation, like, oh, okay, you know. So
yeah,
that's why I'm
yeah,
like, I'd be like, oh, I appreciate you, you know, without like really saying
yeah.
like, oh, thank you, you know. But in his case, I wasn't even like acknowledging it or anything, you know. And then I would ask him like, hey, is the episode dropping? Because he would still post the like the podcast flyer, and he would be like coming soon, and I would reshare, and I'm like, yeah, coming soon. And then I have people asking me like, when is it dropping? And I'm like, shit, I don't know, let me ask this fool. So I asked him, and he'd be like, oh, it's coming out, like we're working on it. And I'm like, okay, cool, cool, I give you the time. And like I said, nobody paid for anything, so it was never like a, oh, I need it now, like, you know, it was just like out of love. So it was no like urgency on it, whatever, cool. But then he started posting like snippets of other interviews that he recorded after mine, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I peeped it, didn't say anything. And then he tagged me again, like, oh, coming soon. And I'm like, so when is it happening? And this was already 2.5 months after around my birthday, so like last month. And he's like, oh, it's gonna drop at end of April. My editing guy is sick. And I'm like, okay, cool, understandable, let it go. Then again, he fucking like tagged me or something, and I'm like, hey, like, where is it? Like, you keep posting snippets of everybody else's episodes. Other episodes have dropped that were recorded after mine, and I'm like, if he could have literally just been like, oh, I didn't like how it came out, or oh, could have said something, I would have been like, oh, cool, like, it's understandable, you know. But no, the only thing he would communicate, like any type of communication, was him sliding up heart eyes or fire emojis and shit, and I'm like, please. And it's like on stuff that's like me shaking my ass, like, you know. And I'm like, okay, I could post what I feel like anybody should be able to post whatever they want and not feel like it's an invitation for someone to be like, hey, come and, you know, try to talk to me.
Straight up.
Both men and women should be able to do whatever they want. But yeah, and then it just like irked me, and he had left me on red for a little bit.
But some guys are gonna be like, well, it is an invitation. What do you? So like, you know. So how? Like, you don't see it on their side. Like, a guy would be like, oh, well, she's shaking her ass on her story. Like,
yeah,
that's an invitation to like someone would be like, oh, it's like a thirst trap or something.
Yeah.
So
I mean, in a sense, like, it is, but to an extent, you know, like, obviously, like, let's just say, like, I'm not gonna cap the right fool slide up on that with hard eyes. I'll be like, you know, I'm not even gonna cap. But it's like, after so long of like getting ignored, you would think to be like, okay, she's not on that, you know. And even at that, like,
what's a good number to stop at? 5, 10, 15? Because I saw you scrolling.
Yeah, it was a long time. I was just like, whatever. And even at that, like, in the industry, like, I've had certain situations where, like, a guy, like, say just in that instinct, like, this didn't happen with him, but I'm gonna use it as an example. Say, like, I tell him, like, oh no, I don't fuck with you that way or whatever. He can go and like bash my name and tell people like, oh, don't go work with her, don't do that. And there's still people to this day that will be like, oh, Ice, like, you know. And I'm like, oh, you're mad because I didn't want to fuck with you, like, I didn't need you for studio time, I didn't need you for something, that's why you're mad. Like, so I just let it be like, whatever, I have my own shit. But yeah, and then for him to not even like say anything and just comment laughing faces, I was like, that should tell y'all enough. For like real. That should tell y'all everything right there.
Yeah, he was embarrassed for sure. And I was just trying to, I don't know, fuck it.
Come on, let me smoke it off. It's getting me mad.
Shit, well, being a female artist in San Antonio, there's Liza, there's a Liza 1K.
My baby.
Feel me? And then in Austin, there's there's also a Unique Red.
I was about to say Red. Big Red, not the little. I love her. She's cool. She's doing her shit right now.
Hell yeah.
She doing her shit. Love her.
Then coming in Austin, there's Miss Gold and there's P. Killer. So, what's your relationship with all the rest of the female artists? Like, cause Austin's not too far away. Feel me? I know you and Eliza 1K are tight.
Yeah, that's my bitch.
Unique Red too. You guys. What's up with Miss Gold? I know I've seen you guys like link up sometimes in vlogs and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, that's my bitch for sure. Okay. Miss Gold. About Miss Gold, I love her. That's my girl. We met through Eliza. We had where did we go over there for? Oh, she her new EP that she just released. I don't remember if it was at the beginning of this year or the end of last year, but either way, she just released an EP, and she had like a little release party. Like, she was at the studio, like, just gonna play it or whatever, and then go to hit 6th Street. Yeah. And I'm like, bitch, I've never been to 6th Street. Like, I've been to 6th Street during South by, but I've never been to like 6th Street, you know, to actually go and tee up.
Night scene type.
Yeah, and I was little too. Like, now I'm 24, so I'm like, I could go and do shit, you know. So we went to the party, or we went to the studio, and right off the rip, she was like, hi, like, thank you so much for coming, you know. Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, when I heard Miss Gold, like, the Miss Gold that I knew before I really got tight with her, like, I'm like, oh, she does music, you know, like, she reminds me, like, Cardi B. She used to dance, and she turned it into hustle and shit, and I'm like, that's how I knew her. But then, so when Eliza said that it was her party, I'm thinking, like, oh, like, what do I gotta wear? Like, you know, like, how many people are gonna be there, you know? And we pull up, and it's just literally her and the producer and Eliza. And she was just like, oh, thank y'all so much for showing up for me and showing love and shit. And I'm like, yeah, girl, of course. Like, you invite me, I'm going to show up, you know, especially music. Like, anything that pertains to music, I'm going to show up for a girl, you know. And right off the bat, she's like, "Y'all want some Henny?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
hell yeah,
first thing,
bitch." I'm like, "Hell
first things
yeah."
first with her. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Shit, we got a bottle of Crown." And she's like, "Yeah." She's just like all lit and everything. And I'm like, "This bitch is cool." And then she was like, "Liza showed me your song," and she's like, "That bitch is hard," and she's like, "There's not a lot of like females out right now, you know," and she's like, "I'm
Yeah.
trying to get back on my music shit," and I'm like, "Oh no, yeah, for sure." I was like, "I'm barely just starting out, but it's going well for me."
Hell yeah.
She's like, she was saying like, "I wish my producer was here, like." He could, her other producer, he can make a beat, and the producer that was there was like, "Shit, I can make y'all one right now." And she's like, "For real?" She looked at me, Liza. She's like, "Y'all down?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's get it, let's get it." So then he made a beat real quick, like 10, 15 minutes.
Hell yeah.
And we all just hopped in the booth. And Eliza has a vlog on it too. But yeah, we hopped in the booth and we made a song. Like I don't think Gold did her part yet because we were trying to hit 60. We were like, "Come on, bitch, it's already getting late." But me and Liza tracked our verse, so hopefully one day that's gonna come out. Hopefully soon. I feel like it'll come out. But yeah, that was my first time meeting her, and ever since then, like we just been locked in. And then we met Carly through Gold.
Okay.
So now we're like all locked in. We have like our group, our little group
Carly
chat.
is SPM's daughter.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
people
yeah.
that don't know.
That's my
Hell
girl.
yeah.
That's my girl. Sorry, I keep hitting it all halfway through. We met her. When was the first time we met her? We went to Houston for something. Or no, she came to Austin. No, I don't remember. No, Dallas. I think it was Dallas. It was Dallas when we had that show. That was the first time we met her. We ended up staying at her B&B, getting like drunk as fuck. Like it was so live. It was live as fuck. And then like we would just link. Like we all live in different cities, but we always like try to link when we can. Like we were gonna go to Cardi's party she had last weekend, but we had our own stuff going on here. But I always like we always keep up with each other in the group chat, and it's like I always tell them like, "Bitch, I miss y'all, but I'm glad that we're all booked and doing shit." Like
Facts, yeah.
like one time we went to Austin, and I had a studio session with Platt when I recorded Don't Care, and then the same night Liza had her video shoot with I don't remember his name. Fuck, I don't remember his name, but she had a video shoot that night, and then Gold had a video shoot that night too, and we all ended up linking at the end of the night. I got a pizza place, and we like just chilled and shit, and we were like, "How was your shit? How was your shit?" Like my shit was good, and like it's funny. It's also funny as fuck because like when we were in Dallas, we were all in a Porsche, 5 bitches deep, bumping all our music, and I'm like, "Bitch, we're
That's
doing the shit
lit.
that these fools do. Like that shit's
Straight
funny."
up.
It's just
Straight
funny, but it's funny to see it like with girls, and I've never had a group of girls that like a group of friends where I could talk about my accomplishments and stuff
Yeah.
without feeling like I'm bragging,
Yeah, straight
you
up.
know. And I'm like a lot of friend groups that I've had, like I'd be like, "Hey, bitch, like so and so hit me," and they'd be like, "Oh, like you know," and I'd be like, "Bitch, you ain't happy for me?" Like get teed up, you know, and then like. These bitches, I'll be like, "Yeah, bitch, I got a show booked," and they're like, "Hell yeah, we're gonna pop out." Like, go pop out to my my South by Southwest show that I had with Bando and then Roadrunner. Like, she
Hell
popped
yeah.
out. We was all teed up, like you know.
That's
But yeah,
lit.
those are my
Hell
bitches. I love them for sure. We make a way.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, shit. Well, let's talk a little about your music. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
kind of get back to you. Well, the first time I think we met was with Liza, right? And
Yeah.
that time you had Salida Siete that just came out, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's talk about that. In terms of like how that song came about. How that really ended up coming about. Cause like you said, it just kind of caught out of nowhere. It became really viral. So like, go through the process and talk to us about that. Like, how was that?
So the coming of it is actually really funny. It was literally like just unexpected. I don't know if y'all know Kid Hendrix, but he shout out Kid. We used
Nice.
to go and record at his house because he had like a little apartment and he had like a little studio there. So we like sit on the couch and we would be with like it'd be like me, Chris Waters, Jimmy, all of us just chilling and shit. And I was sitting on the couch. Someone else was actually recording, and we were like on our phones watching Instagram reels. And I don't remember who was sitting next to me, but they had their phone loud as fuck, and they played a reel, and it had La Chona on it. And Kid was like, "Hey, that's my beat," and I'm like, "Bitch, that's not your beat. That's Los Tucanes. Like that is not your shit." And he's like, "Nah." He's like, "But I sampled it," and I'm like, "For real?" And I'm like, "Let me hear that, bitch. Like, let me hear it." And so he starts playing it, and it didn't sound the way that it did. Like, it sounds so much better now, obviously, but like,
Yeah.
it was just like a plain sample. And he played it, and I'm like, that bitch is hard. And he's
Yeah.
like, no one's hopped on it yet. And I'm like, let me buy it from you. I was like, I'll buy it. Like, I'm not really the type of bitch to go and buy beats because I could do that shit myself.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'll buy it from you. And he was like, all right, bet. He's like, yeah, he's like, just send it over. And he's like, I'll fix it up by tonight. And so he started working on it. And I was like trying to think. I'm like, it's hard. Like, any Mexican knows that song. If you've been to a quince, a wedding, like any party, Mexican type of party, you've heard La Chona. So I'm like, I like had this idea. I'm like, I'm gonna sample it. I'm like, and people, whether they like it or they hate it, they're gonna know it and they're gonna remember it. You know. And it's true. Like, a lot of people would say, like, I didn't like that song at first, but it's catchy and it grew on me. And I'm like, okay, bet. Like, that's what I wanted. Um, but so I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, what can I even talk about?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and I'm like, where am I from? I'm like, Marbach. And I'm like, that's the most, like, Edgar, Mexican, fucking torta place, you know, in San Antonio. So I'm like, I'll talk about, like, where I'm from. And so at first it was just all rapping. Like, I just, like hopped in it and, like, the whole way rapped and, like, talked my shit. And then I was like, no, I feel like I have to pay tribute to the song or, like, something that pertains to the song. Like, so people can be like, oh, okay. I see, like, the, you know, I can't even think of, like, the relation, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, okay, I'll do the
melody to it, yeah.
and I'm like, what do I say though? And like, I wish I had it on my phone. I have a new phone now, but I had like a complete different set of lyrics. And if you were to hear them, you'd probably be like, what the fuck? Now that you like know my version, you'd probably be like, what the fuck? And then I was like, people call Marbach Salida Siete or Exit 7, and I'm like, I could talk in Spanish, you know, English and Spanish, like Spanglish. So, I keep letting this bitch go out. So I'm sitting there thinking, and I'm like, Marbach has fucking hella potholes. So I'm like, oh, dodging all the potholes. And I'm like, riding through Salida Siete, and I'm like, what can I say that rhymes with Siete? And I'm like, jefes. And then I'm like, billetes. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, I could do this. Like, okay, I'm doing it. And then, that became the hook. And then the rapping part's easy. It's literally just like
they were just getting that little hook
talking
to
shit.
it.
Yeah. So I feel like that hook is really what blew it up. Like, a lot of people didn't like it, and a lot of people did. And I'm like, but then it got enough attention for them to watch the rest of the video, and then they're like, oh, she can actually like spit, you know, like. So
it's an attention grabber for sure. Like, it's something that you're gonna want to hear through, see how you work it through with that song. That's a very famous song, so.
And then that's when I had to come up with Don't Care, because I'm like, I got people's attention. Now I'm going to show them, like, what I can really say. Like, you know? And I'm like, people were like, how did you come up with Don't Care? And I'm like, I just wrote about a lot of shit I don't care about. Like, you know, type shit. And a lot of people try to associate me with certain groups or, like, gangs and stuff because I'm cool with people. Like, they'll be like, oh, she's Crip because she hangs out with so-and-so. Oh, she's Blood. Because I'm like, I'm not nothing. I'm like, if anything, I'm from Westwood, like where I grew up from. I'm like, don't associate me with nobody. So that's where it came, like, I don't care if you're red, I don't care if you're blue. And then I'm like, let me just flip it back real quick. Like, I said what I said.
Definitely.
And I already knew that shit with Retro was going to blow up. Like, I'm not on no cocky shit. I told him, let's do it outside of 11 Stars, where I'm from, Westwood. And I'm like, watch that shit blow up. And I'm like, let's do it. Because it was supposed to be like a freestyle. And I was like, what song should I do? I could have done like any song. And I have unreleased too. And Liza's like, nah, bitch, you should do Don't Care. She's like, do Don't Care because it already has a lot of buzz from when I was in the studio, that little reel. And she's like, do it. Like, there's no visual or anything to it yet. So I'm like, bet. But I'm trying to do a visual, like, soon, if anything. I'm like, y'all are more than welcome. Y'all are invited to. But I want to do it. So, like, I'll probably be inside of 11 Stars where I did that shoot at the beginning. And, you know, when I say, like, stop, go back in. But when I come back in, I'm going to be at Skateland West, which is right where Westwood is. And that, like, everybody knows that was, like, there was, like, our club in elementary, like, on Fridays, you know? So I feel like it would be, like, live to do it there. And I'm going to rent out the building and shit. Like, so I want everybody to come. Like, they could bring their kids or whatever. Like, I don't talk about guns and shit and drugs and all that in there. So it's going to be live. I feel like it's going to be live. I have a lot planned.
For sure. I mean, it's crazy, like, from when we first met, like, seeing how it's changed within, like, a year. I don't even think it's been less than a year almost.
Salida Siete came out in December, and it's May, so like
Yeah,
6 months.
5 6 months, not even a year. It's just crazy. Like
Yeah.
the progress and the transitions that you've gone up. You know what I mean? I remember when I first followed you, you were like at a couple thousand. You just went up like crazy. You blew up on your social media. Like how was that for? Like how did that feel for you? Like just like it felt like overnight, kind of like just for you to kind of
Yeah.
blow up. Like how did that feel for you? Like was it just kind of like out of one day to another, you just blew up in numbers and you just woke up and saw it, or like how was that?
Yeah, so basically, like, I used to have my notifications on for Instagram, like my likes, my comments, my DMs, everything. I used to have my notifications on. So, like, people, I had posted, Matt, my videographer, shout out Matt Explores. But we had recorded Salida Siete, and I'm like, he had the drone and everything, and I'm like, I already know this is gonna take off. Like, Marbach alone, like, how do I explain it? Like in Texas, there's a song that drops about Texas. You're gonna be like, yeah, it's hard because I'm from Texas and I can relate to it. So I said Marbach alone, like everybody that I grew up with, we all still live there and raise our kids now, like there, you know. And there's a lot of history behind Marbach. Like people see Marbach as like, oh, it's ghetto and it's this. Like there's a lot of shit that do be happening, but like it's not the slums. It's not like the projects and shit, you know. Like so I'm like people can relate to it, you know. So I told him like that shit's gonna blow up. And wait. We were talking about. I'm like, wait. I thought I was looking at that joint, and I fucking forgot what we were talking about.
About the video,
Matt.
about the having it shooting it by Marbach or something like that.
Oh yeah, about okay yeah. I'm like, no, there's just a lot of history, but I remember telling Matt like this shit's gonna blow up, like watch. And so I posted a snippet of like I don't know if y'all remember it. I was in purple and I was just like lighting a wood and I'm like dancing to the beat of Salida Siete.
Probably, yeah.
I was like coming soon, coming this Friday or something, and then I dropped it and it blew up and then I'm like, okay, now I have to shoot a video. So Matt was like, I got you, girl. So we shot it and I posted a snippet of the video and I was like, how many comments do you think I should say? Like comment like so and so many comments and we'll drop it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you think 100's like too much? And he was like, nah, I think that's perfect. And I'm like, nah, I think I could do. I don't remember what it was. I don't remember how many comments, but I was like, no, I'll do like, I don't know. It was a number, like it was higher than that though. And he's like, you think you could do it? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, it'll give us like, I feel like we could hit that in like a week. And he's like, bet. So then I posted it. Oh, need this many comments, and we hit it within like 2-3 hours. And he's like, bro, he's like, drop it tomorrow. He's like, don't wait. Yeah. He's like, let's drop it. And I was like, fuck it. Let's drop it. So we dropped it and it took off.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, literally took off. Like all I needed was those comments and people got it to that number. They wanted it, so I gave it to them.
It was all organic. It was all just
yeah,
like, at the right time.
Literally like the beat came, then the video, then like Florida foods, SA foods, food community, like everybody's posting it and I'm like, what the fuck? So then my phone started going off like ding 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 and I'm like, and I was living with my best friend and she was living with me, but she was like, bitch, your phone like won't stop going off, like what the fuck? So I like turned off my notifications and then I'm like, damn, that shit's blowing up. And then like every day it was just something new. Like I would wake up and I'm like, damn, bitch, I gained 3,000 followers since last night. Like, and a lot of it, like it wasn't a lot, like a lot of it was hate. There was a lot of comments, like, you know, and I was like, I really don't care because they're seeing me and I'm still they're gonna remember me, you know. And then I remember Paul Wall followed me. I had seen like I saw like a blue check mark and I was like, it said Paul Wall and I'm like, bitch, is this Paul Wall's real account? And she's like, I don't know. She's like, go look at it. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is his account. And then it says follow back. And I was like, this fool followed me. Yep. She's like, bitch. And I remember I had just lit a wood and we were like jumping on my bed. And I was like, bitch, Paul Wall followed me. And then I go and I look at it, like I go to DM him and he messaged me. And he was like your shit's hard. He's like, I be listening to it. And I'm like, you be listening to my shit? I'm like, I be listening to your shit. Like, what are you talking about? But yeah, and like he's shown love, like he keeps showing love on like Don't Care. He showed love on that one too, and he's like, you eat every time, and I'm like, oh! And I'm like, watch, I'm manifesting it. I'm gonna get on the feature with him and OT on Covered in Ice. Watch, I'm gonna hop on that. I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting. So if they see this hoe, you gotta get ice on that bitch. You literally gotta get the coldest bitch. You have to. I'm gonna meet him soon too. Watch, I'm manifesting that too.
sure.
But we'll see what happens.